Yo, what up, man?
Yo, what up? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. Chilling. Just did a few games, and now we're on to this.
Sweet. So I should probably introduce this, what this is, just for editing purposes.
Yeah.
Potent here, and you correct me if I'm wrong. You've reached over 1,000 LP EU West with Fiora. Are you actively that high right now?
Not that right now. I'm not. Like, I'm a bit low challenger, but my peak was ranked 16.
Okay.
And yeah.
So incredibly good at Fiora, incredibly experienced on Fiora. The last time I had somebody coach me on, well, actually I've had people coach me now, Solar Bach on GP and Donell on Hecarim. It seems like it's pretty good content from time to time to mix in champions that I'm more experienced with, because it kind of shows that even if you're, you know, and I'm air quoting here, even if you are good, right, at a champion, it's always nice to have somebody who's really good at a champion come and show you how much you don't know. I think it also just kind of shows also like the rank disparity of like, hey, if you put in your time, like there's all sorts of little nuances that you could figure out. So welcome, and thanks for doing this. And
thank you too. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So what we should do is, generally the way that I've done this in the past is have you share the screen. We'll go into practice tool. You are recording this as well, so my editor can just grab that.
Sounds good. Awesome.
I want you to, if you think you're up for it, I want you to show me things on this champion that I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to mind blow you. I think there's definitely things you don't know, and I think it's gonna be very, very interesting. Okay, I'm sharing my screen right now.
Yeah, I'm watching.
So let's see. Let's go into it. Right, this is a classic build that I've popularized right now. They actually call
and we're gonna get to that too. We're gonna get to the PTA thing as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to go over that with you, because I have no idea why you're doing it, and I'd love to hear the explanation.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, right? So everyone knows about the classic Fiora tricks, right? Like QW, right? All these things, auto E with the reset, and then obviously let me just get the cooldowns there. Okay, there you go. Obviously, there's like the combos, right? Like, boom, you can do the combos really quickly. And like, it's a specific timing. You want to auto E flash, right?
Yep.
And then use your whip, right? There's variations. You can auto stride breaker, then this and E, right? Classic. And now, honestly, for the basics, that's all there is really much to it. Obviously, there's like, a lot of people don't know, but Fiora Vitals have a specific way they appear, right? It's not random. So if it appears...
Yeah, I was going to say, I do know this, but I think it's good to show people, yes.
If it appears in the top or the right, the next one has to be bottom or left. So this one's bottom, right? It has to be top or right. So I'm already going to move on that direction. And so what's important to know about this is that, like, look here, I know it's going to appear bottom or left. So when I'm moving around, I don't want to go in this direction. I want to go in the other direction. And a lot of Fiora players don't do that. And so what happens is that they start like missing some vitals, and when you do it cleanly, like I can show you some clips possibly, but it looks like this. You can hit the vitals before they even spawn. So you hit it, it hasn't even spawned. When you try to get it, boom, it doesn't even spawn yet, right? And you can still hit it. And you can do some crazy shit like this in an early game, and it's very, very powerful, right?
I honestly, even though it's so funny though, because I say I know it, but even though I know it, it's like, it's almost like I feel like just watching you, I still feel like I don't get enough value out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like I still haven't, even though I've played her a bunch, I feel like my muscle memory still hasn't clicked in, like, when I'm fighting, like, oh, you should move to that corner. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like it's not crossing my mind as I'm fighting as often as it probably should.
Yeah, because you're supposed to constantly think about it, right?
Yeah.
And one thing is that, for example, a lot of players do this, right? They just auto and then they Q. But most of the times what you want to do is you auto, right? And then you want to always keep your Q for another vital. That way, as you're walking back, there's another front one that appears and you hit it back. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, for example, here, it's front. Then I get another one, I Q, and as I'm running away, boom, and I'm chilling, right? Like, easy. Or for example, what you can do is, if you're cheesing, right? Oftentimes, like, for example, I'll give it a scenario, right? So I'm just covering here, and I see that the guy has like a front vital. So I know the next one's going to be a back one, right? So what happens is that when he comes, it's going to be a back one. So what I do when I'm cheesing is that I, like, for example, I have PTA. I go up, auto Q as I'm walking back. I auto this one, and that's PTA proc and 2 vitals.
I like this.
It's huge, right? And you can do like a variation. If you see it back, then you're just gonna be on the front. So what you do is you auto, you hold for the Q, you Q the back one as you're running away, boom, the front one, right? And you can see a lot of these moments where I just do level 1 trades, and it's a lot of like fluid, right? Like boom, vital, 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 right? You can hit them really quickly, especially if you know the timing, because you can see I hit them before they even spawn, right?
Yes.
It's very, very precise. Okay, so now, obviously, I think you know that any damage that comes from Fiora can proc vitals, as long as it's not a dot, and like Tiamat AoE, for example, right? So Stridebreaker procs vitals, so does Redemption, so does Ivern Shield, and quite funnily enough, a lot of people don't know this, but Smite, Blue Smite actually also procs vitals.
Oh, I didn't know that though.
Look, you can do this. It's crazy, and you can do some crazy combos, right? Like this, right? Like I'll try to get it off. Right? It's really insane. Like look at this. I'll try to get it off. Right? And if you do that passive, you can like do like a 0.1 second vital. It's like it's insane. But it's really hard to pull off in like an actual game. But yeah.
That's pretty funny. I didn't know it worked like that. I knew that the Stridebreaker and the Gore Drinker popped it, but I like how you framed it. Like you framed it really smartly, where it's like any damage coming from Fiora. Yeah, I've never heard it framed that way, but that makes a lot more sense. Oh
like
wow.
Even this, for example.
Really?
Even Redemption procs vitals. Literally. And people don't realize it. And for example, Ivern E, it counts as damage that is like Fiora's damage, right? It counts as your damage. So Ivern E also procs shield the vitals.
Wait, I have a really dumb question. Would Ignite proc it?
Not because Ignite is a dot. It's damage
Got
at
it.
the time.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. For example, Leandri's doesn't proc vitals either, right?
Got it.
Yeah,
You did say that too, so yeah.
And yeah, I'll show you another trick that people don't know about. This is a bit more like hidden, right? So I'm gonna QW and look how much Conqueror stacks I have, right?
Okay.
I have 6.
Oh wow.
It's a bit weird, isn't it, at first?
Yeah, how does that even work? I feel like when I QW I do a lot more damage, and I guess I just never really put 2 and 2 together that that's what was happening.
Well, it's actually, you probably don't know this, but if you time it properly, you can auto during your QW. So look closely, right? See how I get an auto off?
So I probably did it accidentally.
Yeah, you might have done it accidentally.
Yeah.
And with PTA, you can see it better because there's 2 marks. But here, I didn't get it there, right? I only
Okay,
have 4
yeah.
It requires you to have a decent amount of attack speed, and at the same time, you have to W as you land and spam right click, like there. And so I have 6 stacks, and you can get an extra auto, right? And another cool trick is, it's a bit like in depth as well, is that you can't QWR, it doesn't work, right? Because whenever you W, you cannot use your ultimate, so you can't QWR, but you can do this, right?
Okay.
Which is QRW. And so whenever someone's like trying to like space you away, right? He's like playing a bit far away, like for example a Jace or a Victor or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But he's in your Q range, but it's still not easy to engage on him. Well, you QRW, proc the first value, and bang, bang, boom, right?
Clean.
Just do it like that in 2 seconds, right? And it's a pretty useful combo to abuse whenever people are far away and you want to get your ult off really quickly. So what you can do if you want to like be very perfect is do everything together. You QRW and get the auto during the W. And this guy's dead. That's if you do it properly, right?
Let me wait, go ahead and finish. I want to go over, I want to pop into practice tool, but I want you to finish if you had anything else.
Got it. Yeah, I have a good bit of stuff that people don't know about. So look at this.
I'm all ears, dude. Sweet.
So, right, I can see the vital here, but look what happens now, right? I'm in vital range and I can't see the vital. The thing is, if enemies don't see you, they don't get a vital. So you can tell if enemies have vision in the bush or not.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that never clicked with me. That never clicked with me either. Yeah, it never clicked with me. Yeah. Interesting.
As soon as I do this, so whenever I'm like, what I do is that if I'm laning and my jungler wants to gank me, I just go inside. Do they get a vital or not? Do they get a vital? No vision.
Okay, that's actually so smart. Okay. Yeah, right? Wow. Yeah. Why did that click for me?
Applies.
Huh.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really important, that's an important tip too. Yeah, wow.
Like, it's the same thing for here, or anything really. If they don't get a vital, that means they don't have vision, and a lot of people don't abuse that. And the same thing applies that you can tell it's warded if they get a vital, right?
Yeah, so if you go in, the vital's there, and then it's like an oh shit, like just ping the jungler off. That's so cool. I did not know that at all. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. Also, there's a small thing, right? Like your E gives you increased range. People don't know this.
Yep.
It's very slight, but it gives you increased range.
Yeah, I felt that one. I've definitely felt that one.
Yeah, you can feel it. Also, it's an attack speed buff and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I guess this is a bit okay. There's a bit more in depth later on. This is a small detail. It's whenever you're doing the fast combo, right? If you notice that the fourth vital always takes a lot of time to hit. So usually what happens is boom, boom, boom. Wait, my bad. Let me just do that. You go boom, 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 and then by the fourth one they stopwatch. So what you can do, which I do a lot of times, is that I auto attack and then bang, 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 and they can't react to that, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
So
yeah, I get what you're doing.
It's a small detail, but it makes a difference, right? And then before that, I want to go into something now that's a lot of people don't abuse this as well. It's people think walls counter Fiora way harder than they actually do. So let me show you an example, right? If I'm playing against a melee champion and he's playing like this, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain in practice tool, but what you can do is that since you're staying next to them, they tend to attack you, right? So what you do is you do this, right? You proc all 4 vitals, and then while they're attacking you, you walk back so that they follow you with the right click, and then you Q in that small gap they make.
Yeah. I've definitely done this one before. This is one I've used before, where it's like they have to literally like hold position to play it correctly, and a lot of them will like scoot off of it.
Yeah, they have to like auto and like not move at all.
Yep.
Yeah, another trick is so look at this, right? So for example, if I'm fighting this guy, right, and he's running towards this direction, like let's assume he's blue side, I can't hit the vital because he's hugging next to the wall. But what I can do is that I stay next to the wall, and if he goes down and has
this is good.
This auto pathing will lead me around him, right? Will lead him around me, I mean. So what happens is that, right? He's hugging the wall. Let me just try to get a right vital here. Yeah, he's hugging the wall, right? He goes around, and he ends up like this because his auto pathing leads him around me.
That's smart. Did not know that one.
Yeah,
that's clever.
And all these things, like when you combine them, it just makes it like really insane. You can do so many cool tricks, and honestly, I think that's about it. Other than that, there's like, oh, I forgot one thing as well. I just remembered. Is you can do this as well. A lot of people forget this, right? You can do this.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, same for Herald push as well. Look at that, bang.
Okay.
So what I do is, this is a classic scenario, right? Enemy jungler is here, enemy top laner is here. He plays his Herald. You're getting dove, right? If they take aggro before Herald hits, I'm just gonna QW the thing onto them.
Wow.
Happens a ton of times. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Other than that,
that's off the Herald. That's off the Herald charge.
Yeah, off the Herald charge. Same for like Baron knockup, right? Like I can show you once he resets. Same for Baron knockup and everything else, right? Let me just get into
do you have any clips to that move with the Herald charge?
I do have one.
Maybe they tried to tap. I just want to see it. I visually want to see it because now I'm curious about like how that's timed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I've never even tried to do it. I feel like I'd try to do it and I'd fuck it up because I've just never done it, so I don't know the timing.
Well, honestly, it's a very like you have a lot of space to actually do it because it's during this whole duration of his push, right? So let me just show you.
Okay.
I have one clip against Solution, but it was like a while ago, right?
It's all good.
It's like you have so much time because any frame of him touching you counts as a stun, right?
So okay, so you basically let's go back to the tower just so I can see like in my head here. So move towards the top tower. So if it's charging, let's pretend here. Just humor me. You're getting dove. Jungler's on your right. Where would you be standing in order to get the parry to hit? Like visually, where would you be standing?
Ideally, I don't want to stand here, right? If it's like the Herald's charging in this direction.
Got it. I see. I wasn't thinking the same way. I see. You're imagining it. That's why I needed you to do this, because you're imagining the Herald coming from below you, not above you. And in my head, where you were standing, I was like, well, if it's coming from above you, how could you stand there? Do you see what I'm?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Of course.
Yeah. That's why I was like, dude, can you explain that to me? Because I'm like lost.
Got it. Yeah. Because the thing is, whenever you're QWing, right, you can't get displaced. The Herald won't move to the side. So you can just QW through it.
Oh, that's disgusting. Okay, wow, I've never used that. That's so cool. Awesome.
It's really crazy. And other than that, there's not much to mention. I did have some notes. There is one thing I think people forget is that it's hard to show in practice tool, but the Fiora's Q is a priority, right? For example, right? Let me just activate turrets here. And it fucks you up a lot. I have clips of this. So, right, if I'm next to turret and I Q, it doesn't hit the turret, right? It hits the champion.
Yeah.
And if I'm next to a champion, but the vital's on the left, it hits the one that has the vital, right?
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and for example, well, the issue with the Fiora Q priority is that it's very inconsistent. There's a lot of bugs with it, right? In the way that sometimes it'll hit a minion when it's supposed to target the champion. I don't know why. It just happens a lot. And for example, there are clips where let's assume this happens, right? So there's a vital here and a vital here, right? Or let me change it so it's easier. Like here, right? This enemy has 1 HP. If I Q him, he's dead. So I Q just slightly here, and even though he has 1 HP, it focuses the other one because it's closer, right?
Huh.
Which makes you miss the kill. And that's happened to me. It happens countless times, right?
Got it.
And that's just kind of the thing that can happen a lot when you're playing Fiora. But other than that, I mean, there's not really much. There's like walls you can Q over. You can sort of Q over this wall. It's very difficult to get the timing, and you have to like sort of click on like a specific spot. It's around here, right? But I don't do it too consistently. And yeah, oh wait, I just remembered one thing as well. See the blast cone? There's an interesting interaction where if an ally hits a blast cone, the QW does not become a stun. But if an enemy hits the blast cone, your QW will become a stun. Does that make sense?
I mean, it does, but it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter to the game? Oh, because the enemy is hitting it. Got it. Well, that's code. That's a weird code. That's actually a really weird code.
It's really weird. And the first time it happened to me, I was also surprised.
Huh.
It's the same for Bard ult. If an ally Bard ults you, there's no stun. If an enemy Bard ults you, there's a stun, right? So there's tricks you can do, like if they're like here, right, and they want to like get out from this direction, you can just go like boom, bang, right? But the issue is you won't go as well, right? Because you can't get displaced.
Yeah, you won't follow them, but it is good to know. These are good details, dude. These are really good.
Fiora's all about the details, right? It's a lot of small details to play on.
Huh.
But yeah, I think that's honestly it, right? There's like some other combos with other items, but nothing too really that you do often, right? Like Gale Force can like proc 3 vitals, right? That's something people don't know because it shoots 3 shots.
Oh wow,
but it's very hard to do, right?
Cool. Well, let me. That's awesome. That was a really good rundown. So what I'm gonna do is I got like an account on NA that's like diamond-ish. I think. I feel like that'll be pretty fair. I want to just real quick go into the practice tool and just see this. I want to make sure I understand this before I queue up, and then we'll queue up.
Got it. Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'm gonna share my screen. You can see my screen if you want.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna pop it up.
We'll go over runes and champ selector when we're in queue for the game.
Yeah. That's
because I want to talk to you about this PTA bit that you're doing.
Yeah.
Because that could be good content there. So I just want to see this real quick. 1 second. So we're going stride. So with this build, you've been going like stride breaker, right? Like stride breaker and Blade the Rune King has been your like go-to. Hold on a second, my computer's bugging. 1 moment. There we go. Okay, so I just wanted to see this because I've done this accidentally and done a bunch of damage and I didn't know why. God, I have lethal. I guess I can't really see with lethal, can I? Well, I could see. I guess I could see DPS.
A lot of the damage comes from the issue is that a lot of the damage with PTA and Stride Bork is that whenever you get your crit auto off, it's after the PTA proc, right?
Okay, hold on. Let's reload it.
It's important to have it. Like I've done the math on the items, right? And I saw that the best damage against enemies who have around 60, 50, 70 armor, right? Is Stride Bork as 2 items, right? You have the most damage in the short trade.
So let me fix that real quick. I'll just move it to PTA so we can understand. Yeah, dude, that was impressive. I definitely don't use the vital transfer as confidently as I need to. Like I think I just panic sometimes still, even though I've played her a bunch. I could totally tell that I'm not utilizing it enough yet. But anyways.
Yeah. That's the thing usually that separates like the best Fiora players from like the really good ones, right?
So I have PTA now.
Yeah, you have PTA now.
Okay,
you
so
try to do the Q and W as you land while you're right-clicking him.
okay.
You almost got it. If you had more attack speed, you would have gotten it. But it's even like the timing is even more precise the less attack speed you have, right?
Okay, hold on. Let me cheat a little bit. I don't think I did that right at all there.
No, not that time. Just Q and spam right-click and W as you land. You got it. You got it. You'll get it.
Oh, not there.
Yeah, try it again. Try it again. Oh, there, you got it. Right? You did
I can feel it. I can feel it, but I'm not really sure what I'm feeling yet.
yeah, you did it a bit differently because you QW'd, right?
Okay.
You have to W right before your Q finishes, kind of, sort of, right? It's a bit hard to explain. It's kind of a feeling thing, but
got
try
it.
to get it. There you go. There you go. You got it there.
So W as the Q finishes.
There you go.
Oh, I know what you mean.
For it.
Yeah.
You didn't get it there, right?
Got it.
Even though you can't get it 100%, right? I'm pretty sure my friend even tried it for macro and he couldn't get it 100%. It wasn't working for him. It's a very weird interaction or bug.
I can feel it though. I can hear it. It's like you can hear the noise when it goes through.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You go again. Nice. It's kind of crazy. And honestly, it makes a difference.
Huh. That one I can't tell if I did it or not, but I get it. Okay, that's all I wanted to see.
Sounds good. You can also maybe try out I mean, there's no need, but like the QRW.
Oh yeah. I think I can do that one. I think.
Yeah.
I should be able to.
It's not that difficult, but you should be able to do this.
But the one you showed with the QW, I was like, I don't understand what he's doing. I need to see that real quick. That's why. Yeah, because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to even think about doing it in a game unless I have tried it a couple times in practice tool. So let's talk about these runes. We'll probably be in queue for a little bit, I suspect. So let's go through them. You want to walk me through exactly what you go and why?
Okay, so there's only 3 runes you can really go on Fiora. It's Grasp, Conquer, or PTA, right? And most of the time, if you're really experienced, you go Conquer or PTA because you can't get as much value out of Grasp as you can in Conquer with Conquer or PTA, right? Like in pro play, they play a Grasp a lot because it's more consistent. It's really easy, but it's not viable in solo queue.
Okay.
So essentially, Conquer, the whole idea of Conquer is that you want to do extended fights, right? And extended fights just means having a lot of 80 because that's where most of Fiora's damage come from. It's 80 and vitals, right? So you do long fights, which means Goldrunker, Hydra, right? Goldrunker is good, the healing is nice to give CDR, and Hydra is like the best 80 item I think that you can buy other than Manamune, but a Manamune needs time to scale, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point is that you want to go Conquer when they have bruisers, tanks, or when you need to frontline for your team, and a lot of melee champs as well, right? So for example, if they have a set top, Hecarim jungle, and then maybe like an Ahri mid, Leona support, and like a Jinx ADC, that's like 3 melee champs. That's a Conquer game, right?
Got it.
And you want to go PTA right now whenever you're playing against a lot of squishies and ranged champs, right? Because that seems to be the meta as of now. It's like in top lane and high elo, they're playing Akshan, they're playing Jace, they're playing Kennen, and you can almost never get any value out of Conqueror, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if they have Jace top with Kindred jungle, let's say Victor mid and like Lulu Jinx bot lane, right? You're not going to be able to do anything with Conquer. Even Gore is going to be useless, right? They have like 5 range champions. So what you do is that you take Red Trinket, you take Strideberg, and you play like an assassin, right? You want to get in there, get a kill, get out, right? You go into their jungle, and what's good is that Fiora has 2 things that are really good for this. One is she's incredibly good at destroying wards. 2, she's very mobile, so she can move in and out, right? And the reason why this is better is because a lot of people don't know this, but whenever you're playing against squishies, you want to focus on hitting your spells mainly, right? But against tank, it's hitting your vitals, right? Because the vitals you percent HP damage, right? So what does the most damage against tanks is the vitals. But against squishies, it's not the vitals. It's just your Q raw damage, your E raw damage, right? And that's why with this build, you don't need to necessarily proc all your vitals or something, right? You just want to get the damage off because the on hit from Bork, the active from Stride, and PTA, boom, you just pop him really quickly, right?
Okay.
That's kind of how it is. But there is one niche where you can go Grasp, And it's basically you go Grasp with Divine and typically Titanic, right?
Okay.
And in these sort of builds, it's usually against heavy HP tanks engage whenever you want to act as a front line. And
okay.
the way it works well is whenever you have because think about it this way, but whenever you're playing Grasp, you don't have a lot of damage, you don't have a lot of burst, because you can tell it's like a habit, like a not a habit, a trend. Conquer, long trades. PTA, short trades. But Grasp is neither short, neither long. It's more poke, right?
Yes.
That's why you get the sheen. And the way you play in team fights is that you hit vitals, you Q the vital, you run, and you go back. You Q the vital, you run, and you move around. You sort of dance around the enemy while hitting the vitals, right?
Got it.
And so it excels really well when you have like an enchanter support, like an Ivern or Lulu or like a Zillion who can just speed you up and stuff. And if they have like a Hecarim jungle, maybe a Scion top lane, and maybe like a Leona support, and then you have like a Jinx, a Lulu, and like a Victor, like you don't want them to get engaged, right? So you need to be a solid frontline for them.
Interesting.
Right? And now, so people don't understand a lot is that they just think Fiora is a split pushing bot. Like, oh, if Fiora can't teamfight, she's a split pushing bot. But you can't do that. And like even in Challenger, people don't respect split push a lot. And like split push is not that good in solo queue a lot of times, right?
In high elo.
Yeah, in high elo.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty fucking good in low elo, but high elo,
yeah,
yes, yes.
The bias of speaking for high elo specifically, right?
Yeah.
In low elo, the thing is you can split push a lot, and they just don't, like, they won't check, or you can just dive the enemy top laner. And
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I wanted to make sure, because you're right, and I'm not even trying to downplay what you're saying. It's not. I just want to make sure that people, because I always have a lot of coaching clients where I'm like, dude, you just need to stay in your lane and push for now until you get better.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like conflicting, but yes, you're absolutely 100%. Like high elo, you can't just manhandle dive, because that's basically what I teach people, right? Is like, go top, get big, learn to dive people, and then. But anyways, you were saying.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? In low elo, it does work very well. My usual strategy is I split push, like I go on the side, and then I look at my options, right? It's okay. Can I keep pushing, or can I look for a flank, a vision, or somehow get prio for an objective, right? People need to understand split pushing isn't about getting towers most of the time. It's about absorbing pressure. You need to absorb pressure a ton. Bring 4 people on you, and try to survive it. Try to make something out of it, right?
Yeah.
So I have tons of games where I'm like 15k turret damage, but I'm like 5 and 6, or like 3 and 7, right?
Yep.
But it's because I'm just split pushing, getting a lot of pressure. And what's my team doing? They're pushing tower. They're getting Drake. They're getting Nash, right? And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
And it's good, especially with Fiora. She has so many different builds you can go. You need to be able to identify the your role in the game specifically before the game starts and make a plan, right?
Sweet.
I feel like for a lot of low elo players, if they made game plans before they went into game, they would be like way better in their games. They could put way more thinking into like, okay, what can I do right now, right? But yeah, that's about it for runes.
It's queue time, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's very, very long. There is one more item you can go, which is Trinity. I would abuse it specifically during the Enchantress top meta with like Smite Janna top. And I would rack up free wins. Like I would go Demolish, Trinity, Hullbreaker, and I think like Fiora's, if not like maybe not the best, but one of the best turret destroyers in the game. And I just rack up free wins whenever they play that, and just hard split, right?
Yeah, that would be what? Who would be faster than Fiora? What, like Yorick? I'm trying to think of like worst case scenario.
Yeah, like maybe Camille with her Q and like double Sheen procs, right?
Yeah.
But even then, right, it's very difficult to match Fiora's pushing. Very, very difficult. In early games, some can, right? Maybe Trundle can, right, or something like that.
Yeah, Trundle would be pretty good. That was the one I was thinking. I was like, there's somebody else. Nasus, I guess, but Nasus would take a long time to get big enough to where, because he always wants to stack. Yeah. So bans. Let's talk bans, actually.
Okay, bans. Honestly, it depends. I think what you lose this account.
It's diamond range.
In that case, I would probably ban something along the lines of Kennen, probably. I feel like Kennen would be a rough one here.
Kennen is the one that has beat my ass before. I don't know what I'm normally banning. I think I habit ban Akali for Fiora because I play Tryndamere a lot and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see. With Fiora, the thing is, a lot of ranged matchups are difficult, but there's this thing where like, how can I explain? The movement is really important when playing a ranged champion. I feel like a lot of players don't have good movement in lower elos, so you can easily space them and outmaneuver them really easily.
Yeah.
Actually, there was something I want to show you. One more thing, if it's possible. I actually forgot to show it to you, unfortunately.
We can do it after the game. We can fit it in.
Got it.
The power of editing.
Yeah, power of editing. Let's go.
Yeah, so Kennen was destroying me because like I'd play against a Kennen, we'll just say like you said, a diamond Kennen, right? And yeah. I just never know when to parry. Like that's the champion, like I just never know. I know you're supposed to parry the stun, obviously. Mm-hmm. but it's like I don't know when. Yeah, I just don't know when to fucking do it. Because the W's instant, right? So it just feels terrible to try to parry it.
Can you pick for someone ideally? If not, it's fine, but you typically don't like
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. This is NA, dude. I'm not worried.
It sounds good.
I mean, I know that sounds really arrogant, but like, yeah, no, we'll be fine.
We'll be chilling. Got it. Sounds good. Yeah, with Fiora against Kennen, there's a lot of like tricks. Like a lot of times they will like QW you, right, in 2 stacks, and then as you go into them, they instantly E you and walk back, right?
Yeah.
So most of the times it's about prediction rather than like really reacting, because there's not much you can react to.
That was why it was pissing me off. Was because I was like, I just have to fucking read this guy's soul, I guess, to to hit a fucking parry, dude. It was so tilting.
Yeah, and there's this one thing I hate about Kennen is that even if you hit the parry, even if you like land a good parry, you have to actually hit it, which isn't easy. Oh, Kled. Okay, this is a Conqueror game. They have 3 melee champs on the top side, so let's go Conqueror, Triumph, attack speed, and Last Stand. Resolve with bone plating and unflinching. I like to go attack speed now more. I think it's easier to proc vitals with attack speed. Okay, yeah, and TP flash. We're good. We're chilling.
You ever go Ignite Teleport? I was doing it for a bit. Messing with it. But I noticed, oh shit. I noticed that you liked going, you just like going standard like flash teleport.
Yeah, I've tried out Ignite Teleport a few times, right? But the thing is, Fiora already, a lot of people have this overstatement. Like people think Fiora's way more broken than she actually is, right? Okay. What they don't realize is once you don't have parry, if the enemy jungler is in a 24-second range of coming towards you, which is like parry cooldown, you don't have that many tools. It's very difficult, right? And not to mention that Fiora doesn't have any CC in her kit, and she has arguably one of the worst wave clears in top lane at the beginning of the game, right? Like I've tested it out, and I think Camille, Shen, and Malphite are some of the only top laners who have worse wave clear than Fiora, right? Because you need whip, you need Tiamat, and you have to use your W if you want to have any decent wave killer. And it's really hard to manage these things. That's why I think needing flash is important just for the safety purpose of it. Like you need to have that safety like net, right?
What about Ghost? I know that sounds like a dumb question, but
it's not actually. There is some niches where Ghost is good, particularly into Darius and Tryndamere. I personally don't go with. I just run Ignite and Flash, and it usually does the trick. But it is possible to go Ghost with again in these specific matchups where you can get run down, right? It's
funny you said that, the Tryndamere thing, because I specifically would pick Fiora in high elo just to counter Tryndamere, and I would always go Ghost every time.
It works pretty well. Yeah, it works pretty well.
That's so funny. That's so funny that you said that exact matchup. I didn't do it on Darius though.
Yeah, because he can run you down, right? And you don't want to go into these long trades with him. But Ignite usually gives you enough damage to where he isn't able to get all that damage off, right? Your last pick was pretty good.
We're banning Kennen, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also one other point is, you see the combos I do with like the flash and everything? There's this thing where like, let me see. Yeah. If I don't have flash, I can't do those combos, and it makes me lose a lot of damage, right? I lose like a ton of damage, right? So sometimes like I want to one-shot this guy ASAP right now, and I want to get all 4 vitals for the healing. And without flash, you can't really do the flash combos, and it really handicaps you.
I see. I see.
Oh, on a side note, do you know the trick with Fiora, like where you can auto and then flash in the direction of the vital to hit it?
Yes, I do. Yes.
I got it.
I never use it. I like never use it in a game because like the times I've tried to use it, I fail it, and I'm just like, why don't I just play normal? Like,
yeah, I get that feeling. Yeah.
Why don't I just play like a normal human? What do you think about Fiora jungle, dude?
Dude, it's I've played it once, right? I got 100% win rate in Challenger with Fiora, right? Only one game. It was terrible. It's you just have no clear.
I was thinking like maybe a 3 camp could work, but
yeah, like you can do like red blue Gromp, but even then, like you struggle. You have to kind of flip ganks, and that's how I won. I just flipped ganks with blue.
Yeah, I like how you frame it too. That's exactly what it felt like. I tested it once, and I was just like, what the fuck? So this is the Psy on top. What are you thinking?
Well, you could go cut down. Conquer is still the obvious choice here. I don't think it's worth it though. I think still go last time because they only have one person who have more health than you, just Scion. And here, go second win instead of bone plating and tenacity here. Legend tenacity is probably better. We'll give you more value later on.
Keep it unflinching.
Yeah, of course.
Sweet.
Yeah. So wait, can I screen share something to you in loading real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
It's this thing I wanted to explain, and I have trouble explaining it a lot of times. I'm gonna explain it on paint because that's the easiest way for me to explain it. You'll see what I mean. So can you see my paint right now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let's assume this is Fiora, right? This is a trick that is really important, and I've seen almost nobody abuse it, right? This is Fiora, right? And this is the enemy top laner. And your vital is here, and your Q range is this, okay? It does not reach. So one trick I do is that, you know how people I like to do this tethering dance where they walk forward and they walk back and they follow you, right?
Yeah.
And they always keep you out of range. Well, one thing I do is that I take like 5 steps forward, like this is just an example, right? And then I take 1 step back. And what they do is that they take 5 steps back, and by the time I get that 1 step, they've already taken 2 steps back, which means instead of being like this, right, the range, it's actually like this.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. Right? Yeah. I know what you're doing.
It's like
game's up.
Like, yeah, okay, got it. I'm removing it and we're going back into it.